Wonda Yanda in the building. Welcome to Jay-A-Samei Casual Talk.
Shout out. It's great to have. Ooh, it's great to be here, not to.
I'm amazed and I feel very blessed to have you here because you're like a surprise to me. I only heard your music for the first time today. I only read your biography for the first time today, and so far from what I've heard and read, wow, I'm highly impressed. So I feel very favored by God right now.
Oh, shout out.
So welcome to the Casual Talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited.
Yay! I was excited. Oh, Wonda Yanda.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Wonda Yanda, Wonder Woman, Wonder. I wonder. Please tell us more about where your artistry name came from.
So basically, Wonda Yanda came from a childhood nickname. So I was one of those girls who used to get down with the boys quite a lot, and all of my guy friends used to call me Wonder Woman because I was here. Yeah. I was fighting. And yeah, so I was always trying to keep up with them in that kind of level. And I grew up with 3 older brothers as well. So I grew up very, not necessarily tomboyish, but you know, like the standard was never down here. It was always being compared with the boys. So I always strove to keep up with the boys. And now I was here. So it became Wonder Woman. And then from there, the boys started calling me, like, not Wonder Woman, she's Wonda Yanda.
Wonder Yanda.
So I was like,
the African Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you know what
they Wakandaed you.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, shit, I like that. And yeah, then it was like, shit, that sticks. That is literally the epitome of me.
That's nice. Talking about growing up with boys, I want to understand how your upbringing pushed you to discover music. How did the discovery of music come along? Yeah.
So I grew up in I wouldn't say a very artsy household, but my parents have always been, black people in music.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that it's natural.
Yeah.
So my parents used to play a lot of different kinds of music. My brothers put me on to a lot of music. And I think as a last born, I was exposed to so much. I had so much that I could take in. And then my peers are also introducing me. So it's like generations of music, of different styles, of different mixtures and combinations of how to make things happen.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay. And then I actually started by doing poetry. I did poetry and I was dabbling in a little bit of acting. And then from there, somehow the poetry went into rap. And I think it was an unconscious shift because it's like, I don't know if, I didn't know female rappers.
Yeah.
A lot of that going around in schools in South Africa and things like that. Obviously, we knew the Nicki Minaj's and, those ones, but Trina and them, when they still, when they were starting, when female rap was starting to pop up properly, you had women like that, but you didn't have, like, Lauryn Hill is a once in a lifetime kind of influence that you in the culture. So it was things like that. And I remember Lauryn really touched me. Well, she was one of the people. I got put on to her by my oldest brother. Shout out to him for that.
Yeah, bro.
And yeah, man, from jump, it just spoke to me. It was a black woman with dreads, with a husky voice.
Yes.
And I was like, I could see so much of myself as well. And I was like, shit, am I allowed to say?
We'll flip you out, sorry.
Like, damn, like this, yeah. I feel this, I identify with this. And then I started going into the more rap sort of, coming into it with the funk, with the singing and more of the melodies and stuff. And a close friend of mine, Patience, one of the girls from the Siren, she's one of the people that I came up with. We did music in high school. And yeah, it was like, it was just... It was a connection. It was amazing. And we made so much music together in high school, from doing covers and like mashups, watched Glee, and we created a Glee club in high school as well, actually. And yeah, we used to create mashups and things like that, and it was amazing. And yeah, the rest was history.
Tell us more about the Siren. I'm interested.
So the Siren is this little cute music group that I'm in with 2 of my close friends, Patience being the one that I went to high school with, and another lovely girl, Dineo. So they are some of the best vocalists I've ever met in my life. And I was just like, no, guys, it just makes sense. Because we would groove. Or like we'd be chilling, have a few drinks. And then a song plays or somebody starts singing something. And we just had this instant chemistry where everywhere we went, I swear, we terrorized most of our friends for like most of 2016. Everywhere we went, we just burst into song and we're hitting harmonies and we're just mid groove in the bathroom.
The voice is just corresponding.
Literally, one person goes and we all just and we killed it. And we were like, this is not just a random thing. This is something. This is has beyond words. Man.
Yeah,
the connection was just too strong, and we were just like, nah, let's go for it.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna have the Sirens link down below so that you guys can check it out as well.
Yes, sir.
You know, and Wonda Yanda, advocate for black men and black women, please.
Especially the black women.
Especially the black women. And how do you put that together with music?
So basically, I feel like, you know, with branding and what you want yourself to stand for, right? There's people who have that separation who want to take it as like okay, when I'm an artist, I'm just in my artistic capacity and it's about the hits and the music that I make and that's it. And then, you know, socially, I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, I think because music is so deeply ingrained in me and it's such a deep part of my identity, it's not something I can take off. There's no, you know, persona. As much as Wonda Yanda is a persona or whatever,
yeah,
it is still an aspect of me. So I think for me, when it comes to like we didn't necessarily grow up in apartheid, but we grew up in a country where, you know, we grew up in a country where apartheid happened. You know, there's a little girl who could be listening to my music who's facing certain issues, especially in a country ridden with apartheid and, you know, racism. Like, just because the system has officially ended, it doesn't mean that it has ended, you know, and you can see it in the reflection of South African faces, in the reflection of the statistics, the government, the population, how people are coping. It's shit. I think it's very important, and I take it upon myself to use the platform as a musician to address those things, to talk about those things, and to empower the people that are behind it, the people that look like me, the people that are going through apartheid, that are struggling. So I know a very particular song, one of the first songs that I ever released, Energy. So Energy was basically, it was from the view of me as an individual, all the shit that I'm going through in my current situation in life. And then it was sort of like, it was me tutuzing myself, you know, it was me sort of comforting myself to be like, but you know what, everything, it's beyond you though. It's more than just you and your music. What you're doing, you know, just focus on what you're doing, focus on the message that you're trying to convey, and, you know, focus on the energy around you, focus on the good vibes, focus on all of that lovely, positive stuff, and march forward.
And wow, okay. That's deep, actually. That's very deep. Not a lot of musicians feel like that about the impact they have with their music. So I find that very inspiring. I wanted to ask, I don't even know if this is the right question because I already know from what you've told me that you grew up equal to male. So in an industry that is male male dominated, how do you feel you stand out and thrive as a female artist?
What I will say, realistically, obviously I will stand out by the fact that I am a female artist. By virtue of that in itself, I will never be just an artist. You know, we don't go around calling niggas male artists.
Yeah.
We don't call them, you know, male MCs, male rappers.
Yeah.
Everything is always, when you're a female, it's always precedes everything.
Yes.
Female golfer, you're a female mechanic, you're a female rapper, you're a female whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the femininity comes first. And I think it used to irritate me quite a bit because I always used to take it as something that's kind of holding back because people don't see beyond female.
Yeah.
It's like immediately from there, the standard is reduced. You're not in the same league as men. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like the same thing with physical things. With physical things, we understand there's hormones and testosterone and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's science behind it. But with things that require intellect, that require your mind, that require art, that require more than just a physical difference between us, I think that's my issue. Ugh. So growing up with my brothers, I always knew that I was never gonna be able to face up to them physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but
mentally. Aye.
this is where my power comes from. And so I was just like, well, you know what? I'm gonna embrace the female thing. I am a female, whatever. Unfortunately, that is the reality of the situation. But I will take it further, and I'm gonna be a female rapper that can wipe the floor. Male rappers, and that was where it was like, all right. When you and your friends turn around after we've been going back and forth on freestyles and rapping, and you and your friends turn around, it's gonna be like, you got beat by a female. Like, yes, nigga.
Wonda Yanda.
Thank you.
Showed you wonders.
Exactly.
So be humble.
You know what I'm talking about? Like a female something beat you at something. Yes, my nigga. And that is going to become normal. Normal. Because we have the power. We are amazing at this shit. 100%. Not equal, but there's still some kind of equity at the end of the day.
True.
And that for me is why it's, yeah. So my number one thing is embrace that femininity. You are a female rapper. Sure. That's fine. Well, you're a female rapper who's wiping the floor with the rest. And that. I can play just as good as the boys.
That's a different way to look at it. I like that.
Shout out.
I like that.
Shout out. It's okay.
So how do you monetize your craft?
So basically with me, I don't do anything that most artists don't normally do. So I've got my music on, all the different platforms, I had distro, but yeah, hey, these days things are getting a bit shaky with all of these service providers because now your rights are being infringed upon. Well, not necessarily being infringed upon, but you are willingly signing away a lot of your power with a lot of these platforms. And I think after learning a little bit more about it, I actually left distro and I was like, I need a local platform. So actually, maybe we can call this a call out.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely in the space for innovation, and I believe that we don't need to be outsourcing a lot of things. Like, we need to think like China, guys. We need to do everything ourselves.
We have to insource.
You know what I mean? China has their own version of everything. They have their own version of Instagram or whatever. So why can't we as South Africans have our own distribution platforms? Why can't we have our own Spotify's and DistroKids and whatever? Like, we've got Boslick on Life. We can see that these things are viable. So I'm in the mind state of changing everything to local stuff. Everything must be local. Everything.
Thanks to Wonda Yanda, I will be putting all the local distributors at the bottom of this link. The bottom, all the links are going to be. I'm going to put them all there at the bottom, and you can pick a distributor that you like from in your country, guys. Let's support each other. We are South Africans. 100%. Let's build each other's brands and help each other's grow.
It's the same continent.
Africaniana, Yeah, thanks to Wonda Yanda bringing that up. I'm going to make sure that is at the bottom of this video. And one thing I'd like to know is, how do you balance artistry and money? And I'm asking this because studio needs money, your photo shoot needs money, transportation needs money, and then you still have to be an artist on top of it, and you're an independent artist. Please elaborate on that for me.
One thing I will say, guys, don't be doing music for the money. If you're doing music for money, man, you're not in the right place. You're not. If maybe it turned into becoming about money, like because you became successful, that's one thing. But if you are starting out and you're like, I cannot say, I need money, let me make some music. No, guys, don't do that. Not a fun journey. And especially, I think, there's a lot of miserable jobs, but can you imagine being forced to sit in studio and come up with stuff from the top of your head because you feel like you're like, that's a passion project. That's something you need to feel strongly about. And for me, in terms of balancing money, I will be honest with you, all my other careers fuel my music. Music is my first wife. Music is my first wife. All the money, majority of the money from the household goes to the music.
Yeah.
I'm working for the music. So I genuinely do it purely out of passion. But of course, things like actually having performances are something that will make a big difference to you. So I started the traditional way of going with exposure. You know, I went to studio sessions with people who believed in me. They'd let me record, we'd make some music, we'd put it out, you know, SoundCloud and all of that. And, you know, just the organic sort of build. And then I started performing at places. And then it was that thing of like people recognizing me in the streets. I got a manager. And then finally from there, you know, I had my set fees and everything. Performances, I think because I also fuck with performances the most. Performances were the place that it's very easy for me. And I think especially if you know that you have a talent with performing, take that and run with it. Because that's where a lot of income comes from with this arty stuff. It's those gigs, nyana, every weekend, 2 weekends, you know, you're getting a young, even if you're getting a young 3 clipper, whatever, you know, for the next weekend, you can go to the studio, you've got 3 clipper to pay for your 3 hours
and buy a cool drink.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're good. So, yeah, I don't think I'm enough of an expert about that money.
But what you said is enough, and it's true enough, you know, for a lot of artists and independent artists that are coming up. I can vouch for that. I work a whole 9 to 5, and the music is just because I love it, you know.
Yeah.
That is so true. And of course, this brings me to my last question, my favorite question. We want to support Wonda Yanda. What new projects do you have out? Where can we find you? And what's happening? Where are we going to see you? Which stage are you going to be on? Tell us.
So, currently, I'm in a young hiatus. I'm about to come out of it, though. I'm getting back into studio, getting back into the groove, making content, making all the music come out again. I'm here. Pastor Ox is about to start getting launched again. So, I am... Right now... you can look away for now, you know. People look away. For now, we can look away. If you want to jam the old stuff, you can find my music on YouTube. Like I did say, I'm changing platforms. I really feel very strongly about that. So as soon as I get some good links for all of these places where I can distribute my music locally, that's when everything will properly start flying again. And yeah, I'm working on a project or two. I've got some music in the studio. It's cooking. It's coming. But yeah, no, just a little bit of patience and I'll be everywhere. But you can catch me at Wonda_Yanda on my Twitter, my Facebook, and my Instagram. You'll be able to find all of the latest updates about me and what's going on. And yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Wonda Yanda joining us at Jay-A-Samei Casual Talk. All the links will be at the bottom of this video. Feel free to support your sister. All the links you need will be there. Also for the band as well. Feel free. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.